All right, prepping to go. All right, here's the plan, because there's always got to be a plan, right? First, I'd like my windshield to defrost a little bit faster. This is the casino, and I'll talk about it later, but I actually won some money. It's 26 bucks a night here. They gave me $25 off in free play, and I left here with a little bit of money. But I stayed down at the Ojibwa Casino by the lake, but I left a towel there, so I'm sure it's gone. But I want to swing by because I got to go that way anyways to fill up with some gas. So here we go, and let's see what these cats do. Kiki's still on the bed. Vinny's up top, but he ain't gonna like it up there, so we'll see him climb down if he hasn't already started. What should I do? Always stand. Always do a triple check. Use that time to get down, huh? All right. Here we go. You can make it, man. I know. I see you back there, Keek. I don't know if you're in the camera. See how long you stay there. There you go, Vinny. Here comes Keek. Hey, Keek. I don't know if you're in there either. How you doing, girly? You going up top? Getting up there? Might get a nice sunny day to drive. All right, like I told you, I sometimes get really lucky. My towel was still there. It was just a towel, but it's good to have it back. I'm gonna go get gas at the cheapest gas station in the area. Tried to move it to the other place because I noticed in the editing when I put it on that center thing, it rattles. So we'll put it there, and then I got a ramble to do. But it looks like it's going to be sunny and the leaves might look pretty, so a ramble while looking at pretty leaves is sure a good idea in my opinion. But we'll talk in a bit after I get gas. Alright, so we're leaving that Ojibwa campground, heading up towards Houghton, but that's not where we're going. Just up past these trees is a place called, I believe it's Two Pines or Tall Pines or something like that, and it's got the cheapest gas in the area. I checked the tires and the tires are good. The Pines, so there's no tall or twin or short, it's just the Pines. And they're a 243, which is pretty darn good. I want to warn you, there's going to be some rattling. It's the GoPro hitting the windshield. It only lasts a couple minutes, so hopefully you can deal with it until it goes away. Drive to Ontonagon, one of my favorite places. I'll be right on Lake Superior, and hopefully I'll get a sunset or two. I already called them, and they're still open. I was, wondering because it's been cold. And when you get up here, a lot of it is they give you a time frame when it's going to close, but the weather has a lot to do with it. Man, that's pretty. Okay, so I got a question on one of the videos I posted. I think I'm terrible with remembering screen names, but I think the question was by Mr. C, and he said he is planning, I'm assuming it's a he because it's Mr., right? He is planning on buying an RV, and he wanted my opinion. I'm gonna start off with, never take the opinion of some doofus on YouTube, which includes me. don't take opinions on a lot of people. Just take some information from them. So here's what I'm going to share. I can't tell you what RV to buy, but I can tell you some things to help your decision. Maybe. Everything's with a grain of salt. Mr. C had said he's kind of down between BT Cruiser and a small Class C, which I think are both pretty good options. I've been in a couple BT Cruisers and they're nice, but it all comes down to what you want. So the first and best advice I can give is go see as many of them in person as you can. I've said this in the past. I think one of the best things to do is go to a campground, even if you just have a tent, and walk around. And most people are very proud of their RVs, and they'll be honest with you too. They'll tell you the things they love about it, and they'll tell you the things they hate about it. When you go to a dealership or an RV show, it's a great place to look, but everybody you talk to there is going to tell you whatever you've taken interest in is the greatest RV in the history of RVs. You know, because they're trying to sell you something. So I think some things to consider off the bat is how much money do you have? That's number one. How much can you afford? And I will also say, when I was first starting looking, I was planning on a Class C, a small Class C. And then I went to a Class B because of gas mileage. And I think your recurring expenses are going to be important to you. You know, if you have X amount of money to put down, or if you're going to finance or whatever you're going to do, if you have a budget, you have to keep in mind the other things that are going to affect your budget. I am so sorry that this truck is picking up stuff. I'm going to try to pass him and then reach out the window and kind of wipe it down. I'm going to pause. I pulled over so I wouldn't be behind that truck. And we'll get up to speed. I'll give you a little time lapse till we get up to speed. Come on, truck, don't blow a lot of stuff on me. Try to do. Okay. Alright, so hopefully this is better. So, how much money you have to spend and your reoccurring costs. Now, a lot of people say to me all the time, which I think is kind of funny, is they say, well, you should get a diesel because diesels get better mileage. Very true. I think the main reason you want to get a diesel is they're a little bit stronger. If you're towing something, a diesel's stronger. If you're doing a lot of stuff in the mountains, the diesel engine has more power. But that recurring cost, something that's important to keep in mind, is most of the places I see, diesel's usually about 50 cents a gallon more expensive. So I can get right around 15 miles to the gallon in this, a mile or two either way. Depending on conditions. So 15 miles a gallon as opposed to a diesel that's going to get 22, but I'm paying 50 cents more a gallon for it. Over the life of the vehicle, it's a higher cost to operate. This guy is going to kick all kinds of crap up. I'm going to have to stick my hand out there again, because I'm trying my best to give you guys a nice view. Hold on. Not easy with a cat on your lap. Alright, so bear with me if it's a little blurry, I apologize. Between a BT Cruiser and a Class C, I think a lot of it's going to depend on what layout you like. That goes back to, you got to go see a bunch, because most of the RVers that I know that have been happy chose an RV with as least compromise as they have to make, because no matter what you buy, you're going to have to make some compromises. There's really not a perfect RV. Isn't this beautiful? But you're going to have to make some compromises. For me, a key point was the bed. I wanted a bed so that when I'm traveling, I can be comfortable. And I think that's a key for most people. I'm not old, but I'm not young, and I don't want to sleep in a conversion van where I can't stand up. That matters to me. And that also matters when you're going to pick an RV to get the feel of the inside and know how it's really going to work for you. What I like about this, the leisure travel portion has been fantastic. The Dodge portion, it's 20 years old, it's had some issues, but the relative advantage of that for me is I can go to any Dodge dealership, or pretty much any mechanic can work on the Dodge portion of this. When you start getting up into real RVs, or whatever you want to call them, then a lot of times you got to do more specialized maintenance. And maintenance is always expensive if you can't do it yourself. And specialized maintenance at an RV repair shop is usually even more than a regular mechanic. So once you get in and look around, you have to find out what things matter to you. Like when I post a video, there's a lot of people that one issue that they have, you son of a gun. Oh, that's a lot. Hold on. We're cleaning again. All right, this is untenable. Hold on, I'm gonna move you. There might be some rattle. I apologize. All right, hopefully that's a little bit better. Probably not. So as I was saying, like for me, when people watch my videos, there's a lot of people that can't stand the shower system and bathroom that I have in this. I have a dry bath and not a wet bath. For me, it wasn't a huge thing because I don't shower in it all that often. I've showered in it quite a bit, but when I have the option, I choose, you know, like a shower. My goodness, all these trucks. All right, I'm gonna stop complaining about it. By now you've figured out I'm trying to do the best I can. So that's where it's important for you to go look. I still at times, even though I love my RV, everybody gets, I think, a little bit of RV envy. I love this for the gas mileage, the ease of driving and stuff like that, but it's small. There are times I obviously wish I had more space, but you'll have to make trade-offs for that. For me, it's not too terrible, except when the weather's bad, because even when the weather's bad, I still go outside and, you know, I put a raincoat on and I'll be all right. But if you plan on spending a lot of time in your RV, then it's important to have it set up and have the space that's going to make you comfortable. Because the biggest mistake that people make is buying an RV that's not right for them. I have a saying, I don't know if it's a thing, but a lot of people get excited and go buy an RV, and then it becomes driveway art, where it just sits in their driveway because it doesn't really suit their needs. This one's 20 years old, and as I've said, I get RV envy sometimes, and I'll go everywhere from the BT Cruiser. I do like those. I do like smaller Class C's. Born Frees. I love the leisure travel new ones. I like a lot of the bigger Class B's, but I won't pay the price they want for them, even when they're 5 years old. I just can't afford it, and I don't think it's a good value. So, my easy answer is, I don't know you well enough. I don't know how well you know what you want. So I would suggest you make a list, you go see as many as you can, and you find out the things that you like and the things that matter most to you. Again, for me, it was the bed. I gave up kitchen space because I like to cook, but I can do that outside, and I've learned how to cook in like a 2-foot area. You know, I've figured it out. But you're gonna have to do that, and once you make that purchase, it's a big investment. Even now, I got this a few years ago, and I got it for 15 grand, right into 15 grand. Well, now these cost more than that. This is probably easily, I could probably get 20, and I've pretty much doubled the mileage on it because the new ones are so expensive. So when you're going out there to make this purchase, I think the only thing you can do is prep work, research, watch a lot of YouTube videos. You can get an idea from a YouTube video, but there's nothing like seeing them in person. And to me, I think the best resource out there are campgrounds. I don't do tours, YouTube videos. I don't do a lot of that stuff, but I look at a lot of other people's RVs. I've been inside many. And there's great things about all of them. You just have to find out what's in it for you. I'm gonna shut up for a second, compose my thoughts, and let you look at this scenery. All right, so I'm back. So the other thing you got to think about is, how are you going to RV? And a lot of times, how you think you're going to RV is not always how you really do it. When I bought this, I thought, you know what? I'm going to live in this sucker, which seemed like a good idea. Look at that. Shut up, Dan. Let the people look at that. All right, try to keep me in the background, but really look out this windshield. It is beautiful. I know I came up to the UP again, but I don't think I made a bad decision. So, how are you going to RV? Does the size of your tanks matter? Are you going to be out boondocking for extended periods? Are you going to get in that boondocking thing where you're chasing water? Because that happens a lot. Are you going to do a lot of campgrounds? Do you have to have a generator? I think you should always have a generator. I don't use mine a ton, but you have to have one, I think. Some of the downsides of like this RV, I thought when I got it, well, I can get back into some cool places. I have almost no ground clearance in this, so there's not a lot of off-road capabilities. This is not a tough and rumble, get back in the middle of nowhere kind of deal. I don't think my ground clearance is much better than my convertible. So that's something I have to keep in mind. What are your maintenance skills? How much do you think you can allocate for recurring maintenance? Do you want to buy new or do you want to buy used? The general rule that I have seen, you can quote me or you can do research on your own, which is a much better idea. Value-wise, you're going to get more Class C for the money than you are BT Cruiser. Meaning the BT Cruiser is built better, so it's going to cost you more money to buy. It's built a little bit better. So your finances are going to play a big role in it, I think. It's just a big thought. How much junk are you going to carry around? How much storage do you need? For my Class B, I think that was one of the main parts. I liked it better than the similar Road Treks I saw. No offense to Road Trek owners. I just like this one better. And I think leisure travel for me has about the best storage you can get. Now, if you think you're between a BT Cruiser and a small Class C, look at the storage on each one. Which one is going to suit your needs better? And then on each of them, I think you need to look at, there are so many RVs out there with so many different layouts, and even the same model of RV has a lot of different layouts. Like this one, Leisure Travel also makes another one that has 4 captain chairs up front. I wouldn't have wanted that at all. Now, if I had to get it, you can take seats out and you can try to get creative. But the model you look at is going to matter too, because they're not all the same. It's a big decision. Don't pin it on a doofus like me. I'll give you my little opinion, because you deserve a real answer, and everybody listening deserves an answer. If the finances weren't a big deal, I'd like the BT Cruiser a little bit better than a Class C. But if finances were mattering, then I would go with the Class C. Then you have to decide if you want a slide out or not. If I won the lottery, my first call would be to Elon Musk and say, dude, let me drive to your factory and take this old RV and make them electric. Put as many batteries for distance as I can get in here, and while you're at it, cut a little slide in it for me, because I'm assuming you got guys good enough that can cut holes in things. That would be awesome for me. If I could go 400 or 500 miles a day, go to a campground, charge up overnight, woo, that'd be a great finance. But I digress back to the point at hand. I think making the right RV choice is at least as important as making the right choice in a house you buy. Because they're a lot of money. If you make the wrong choice, you'll either deal with it and be disgruntled, or it might cause you not to like RVing, and then you turn around and sell it, and you paid a lot of money, and you're most likely going to lose money. I would also say a BT Cruiser, if you do go to sell it, would most likely have a higher resale value. Don't quote me again, you got to do your own research. But there's a lot of cool ones out there. There's a lot of nice ones. And what's right for you isn't right for the person next to you. I don't know if you're married or traveling with somebody. That matters. I have a buddy that bought a brand new travel trailer. I mentioned him before. He loves it. Wife can't stand it. They don't get to go as much as he wants to because she doesn't like it. Look at that. Stay in your lane. I know it's pretty, but stay in your lane. Search the interweb. Look out. That's kind of how I did this. Like I said, I was on the Class C thing, and then I just started realizing gas mileage. And I thought my recurring costs were as important to me as the initial cost. This basically is getting double the mileage of a Class C. And that matters. That matters on my budget for sure. And you got to take that into account. Then I just started looking, and I can't remember, I'm sure I said it in the past when I sat down and put some thought into how many I looked at, but I looked at a bunch. I test drove a couple Rialtas that I liked, some leisure travel other than this one, some road treks, and then I found the one that works best for me. It's not perfect. There are things that aren't everything I would want them to be, but overall I've made the best choice. And that's the point. You got to go into it. You got to, in my opinion, you got to go in with a good thought of what's most important to you and try your best to tick as many of those boxes as you can. And the ones that don't make it, or the ones that have something you wish was different, you have to determine if you can still deal with it. You know, a wet bath for me would have been nice, but then again, I understand how. But then again, I like the space saved for other storage that having the bath that I have, you know, the aisle bath, I like that. So I talked for far longer. But basically, I would guess you'd see that it's boiling down to, you just got to look at a bunch of them. There are lots of nice ones out there. All right, let's get by him while we can. Also, don't like to beat Eddie to death. So when I get up hills, I'm in no race. He'll get there. So I think if you're excited about the opportunity and the challenge of finding the right RV, because I think the search is fun. If you don't think the search is fun, then you might not find the best one for you. It took me eight months of pretty consistent searching. I was online, I was driving around my general area. I did a lot of searching. And once you've made a checklist of what's important to you, I think your answer will be easier than it might seem right now at the beginning. I don't know if I helped it all there, because my basic answer comes down to go look at a lot. If you can, go to a campground. Go somewhere where there's a lot of RVs. And as I said, the best resource are those that already own one. They will tell you the truth. And most people are glad to show you. If you walk up to an RV and you say, wow, that's really nice, once their smile stops, most people will offer to show it to you. If they don't, maybe try asking if it's one you really want to see. But like a house, sometimes you got to give people a chance to clean up. Like mine, I show this, I probably show this as much as people show $1 million Class A's. There's a lot of people that like these small vans for the convenience. But when I get asked, usually like, all right, give me a half an hour. Put the cats outside in their tent, pick up a little bit. Oh, we're going too fast. Getting close to Aunt Noggin, I must be getting excited. But I do hope that was helpful, Mr. C, and anybody else that might have listened. Just, if you go on the internet and somebody ever claims to be an expert, give them a little side eye. Because there aren't a lot of experts out there spending their time on YouTube. There's a lot of people that know a lot of things, and you can glean a lot of information. But, you know, if you ask me about which 1999 Class B you should buy, I'd probably say this Leisure Traveler, you know. But if you ask somebody driving a road trek, they might tell you their road trek. So you got to take all that into consideration. But it's a great thing to do whether you're going full-time or just going out for as many trips as you can. And I always think, I've given this other advice that's sort of on topic. There's a lot of people that think, I've never RV'd before, but I'm going to sell my house, buy an RV, and I'm going to live in it full time. Whoa. Slow down. Slow your roll, because in many ways it's better than I expected. And again, I don't live full time. I had planned to. But not everybody's cut out to always do full time. There's something to be said for having a homestead for a vast number of people. There's many many people that can do it right off the bat and never look back. And there's some people that have regrets. It doesn't make you non-spontaneous to plan.
Sure sounds good.
You know, a lot of people think, well, if you plan to, no, you gotta plan for success. So I think anybody wanting to go full-time, buy your RV first. Do some extended trips. See if it's really what you want. But again, money comes into play, and then not everybody can do that. That's a hawk. That's a red-tailed hawk, I believe. Now, somebody on YouTube will tell me I'm wrong, because everybody on YouTube is a genius and knows everything. And then if I say that, somebody will be so offended that they will thumbs down the video, because it clearly was not a red-tailed hawk, and I hate your video. So, back to that whole point. Social media is what social media is, so take it all with a grain of salt. I know I've rambled far too long. I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to say have a great and wonderful day. I'm going to stop this portion of a video, and then I'm going to pick it up with just a little bit of driving. But Mr. C, I hope that was helpful in some little ways.